Hello, I'm Ava Pickett, and I wrote 1536, and I'm just going to talk about that for a bit. The Genesis Almeida New Playwrights Big Plays programme was born out of a desire to help support writers who are writing small-scale plays and to encourage them to write for bigger stages. It is a programme that encourages writers to be ambitious and experimental and provides them with a community to lean on as they try and write a new big play. I was on the programme when I started writing 1536, and to be honest, I just fucking loved it. Writing can be a really lonely process, and so to be provided with a community of fellow writers and access to workshops where people were honest and transparent about their careers meant that we could evolve, just not as writers, but as artists as well. I loved all of the workshops, but ironically, my favourite was Lindsay Turner, who went on to direct 1536. She did hers about failing, about trying stuff that didn't land, and I felt that as an early writer, that's sort of what you need to know about. People talk about success quite a lot, but no one ever talks about failure, and I think the thing you need to know is that it's survivable if you do fail. So loved that. So I wrote 1536 on the programme, and it was a wonderful rush of an experience. I knew that I wanted to write about the volatile nature of friendship, of conditional love, and what it feels like to discuss in horror the news story of a woman's death, but to keep telling yourself, well, it won't happen to me, and it won't happen to us, because it wouldn't happen here. And to ask the question, if a man in power can do whatever he likes to a woman in his life and there be no consequences, what does that mean for women everywhere, particularly working class women? I did also want it to be really fucking funny. Across the year, I wrote more and more of it, and I delivered it at the end of the year, and as Steph Bain, who was the literary manager at the time, can attest to, probably within a few days, I had already emailed her being like, have you read it? Are you going to do it? That continued 4 months. Steph actually never told me to piss off, despite probably really desperately wanting to. But what she did do is sub the play for some awards, and it went on to get shortlisted for the George Devine, and it won the Susan Smith Blackburn Award. So by that point, I was feeling pretty good about it. And then, as part of the Genesis programme, each writer gets a 5-day R&D to hear the play aloud. And when we did our read-through of 1536, and I'm probably being a bit too candid here, but afterwards I remember just thinking, I want to die. It did not feel the way that it was meant to feel. Readings are really difficult, fickle creatures. And even though I knew the play was good, and even though it had won an award, and we had great actors and a great director, it didn't feel brilliant, and I wanted it to be brilliant. I wanted to write a play that would last. I wanted to write stuff that would change the weather. And like most read-throughs, instead, I was just sat there squirming in my seat thinking, Christ, this needs a cut. So I said, I'd do whatever it takes. I'll write a new version. I'll write a new beginning. I'll write a new ending. I did never offer to take out the swearing, but I said I'd do whatever I needed to do to get the play on. And eventually, Steph Bain had to say to me, you just need to leave me alone, please, so we can decide. She had more faith than I did at that point. And so they took some time. Obviously, during that time, I was a lunatic and bugged Steph at every press night for an update. Please, just do it. Will you do it, please? Until eventually they told us that, yeah, they were going to programme it. And it felt like my whole life changed. Me and Lindsay Turner met in Picture House Central and spoke for hours and hours about the play, what it was, what it wasn't, what I needed it to be, what I wanted it to be, what it could never be. And it was amazing. And so then came rehearsals, which was more joy and more dread, and then previews, where I didn't breathe for the first few performances, biting my nails and trying very hard to look relaxed so I don't make it so glaringly obvious I had anything to do with the production. And then on the third or fourth preview, when I was nervously necking tap water in the bar, a young guy came up to me and he said that it was his second time seeing the play, that he'd come on the first night and loved it and felt seen by it, and then had come and queued for a return, and my panic began to calm. The play ended up doing quite well, and it means that we're now opening on the West End on the 2nd of May. Please book a ticket. Some people study it, and there are some schools that are studying it, and there are some cool gals doing it on TikTok, which is great. I owe Genesis a huge amount, not just for providing a programme where writers are paid for their work, but also providing a programme where I had access to a building. I'd never had a relationship with a theatre until the Almeida, and it ended up being one of the most transformative experiences of my career. To be supported so early and to be given the space and faith to take a risk, to try something new, that's what every writer needs. And you paid us. It's so important. Like, come on. And yeah, this stuff is chemical. Plays arrive into the world, and sometimes the world welcomes them, and sometimes it doesn't. But 1536 is a testament to taking risks on new plays and to backing writers early and to taking their ambition seriously. I feel incredibly grateful and privileged to be part of this programme and to have been given the opportunity that the Genesis programme has given me